minute and a half. Stream is started, so if you want to go ahead and share it, Shamal, I'm about to get my shares on as well. KLK 102.5 FM. Good morning to you on your Thursday. It's February 22nd, 2024. This is Community Conversations. Get on is in the studio with you today, and today I have two very special guests with me today. I have Craighead County District Judge Tommy Fowler, and we have Shamal Carter, the president of the NAACP. And of course, always a pleasure to have both of these gentlemen on. Of course, Judge Fowler did request this opportunity to come on Community Conversations because there is a new amnesty program that's coming up. And if any of you all have been paying attention the last few years, Judge Fowler and also Judge David Bowling have been very instrumental with trying to help people get second chances through these amnesty programs. So Tommy, you asked me to call you Tommy. So Tommy, kind of tell us a little bit about this upcoming program and what it's going to entail.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me today. And you've got one special guest, and that's Shamal, and then you got me. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad Shamal, my friend, is here also. Yeah, Judge Bowling and I are really excited to announce this year's amnesty program. And Lagonzi, if you'll remember, we started amnesty back in 2017, right after Judge Bowling and I originally took the bench. And this all had to do, and it came out of the situation with the Justice Network and helping people get out from underneath that that situation that they were in with the Justice Network. It was extremely successful that first year. We have managed to do this every year, except I think once, may have been during the first COVID year in 2020. We weren't able to hold it the way we normally do. But this year we are focusing on those folks who have been placed on probation and who either have a revocation that has been filed, or two, they are behind on what they're supposed to do. And while a revocation hasn't been filed yet, give them another opportunity to get back on course with the things that they were originally supposed to do with the court.
Now, for those that may not understand, what exactly is a revocation?
Okay, so let's say I have been placed on probation for either a domestic violence conviction or a possession of a controlled substance conviction, and while on probation, I was supposed to take and complete the domestic violence classes. Or if I have a no driver's license and I've had multiple of those and I've been placed on probation and I'm supposed to go get my driver's license, get it out of suspension. Or if I am on a possession charge, first offense, I am on probation to make sure I don't get another charge. And I have failed to do what I was supposed to do. So that could be I haven't gotten my license. It could be that I have missed appointments that I was supposed to be doing, or I have gotten additional charges, Lagonzi. Those are normally the three things that will cause somebody to have a revocation filed against them.
Okay, and so just based on what you've seen come across your bench, what prompted you and Judge Bowling to focus on this particular area this time?
So, as I was saying, we've been doing an amnesty program every year since 2017. So each year we try to focus on a different issue. Years before, I think last year when I was here with you, we were kind of focusing on failures to appear.
Right.
We have focused on non-payments of fines before as well. And so this year we decided, we've never done one on probation. So this year we've decided to focus just on probation. And here's the thing, and this is what I was explaining to Shamal when we were talking about this a couple of months ago about what are you guys looking to do? It is not going to put any more jail time on anybody and be suspended. It is not more fines and cost. It is not more time on probation. So if you were placed on probation for 6 months, Laganzi, and you successfully completed 4 of those 6 months, and you come in and you take advantage of this amnesty program, you only have 2 months to serve. You don't have an additional 6 months. It doesn't start things completely over. It just gives you a second bite at the apple to get done what you were supposed to do. Again, it doesn't cost you anything in new fines and cost. It's not being assessed to you that way. It's not additional punishment or jail time or anything else. It is just a fresh bite at the apple to start over and get done.
All right, so Shamal, what was your role in this? I know that you have been speaking with Judge Fowler. So kind of where do you and the NAACP come in on this?
Judge Fowler and I sat down quite a bit and kind of discussed things that are going on in our community. And so like he said a few months ago, I said, we're going to do amnesty, how we're going to focus on this. And so, again, he explained to me that they hadn't come up with a plan yet, and so they were thinking about it. He didn't share the focus of this particular issue, and so we got to talking about issues in the community. People losing their jobs because of not being able to go to work because they may revocate on their probation, and then they end up having to serve jail time. This not only affects families, but if it affects our economy as well, because if we don't have people working in those positions, then we as an economy begin to fold. And so those that are on probation, they actually have more to lose because they've made a mistake and they're trying to turn the situation around. But what if I don't have the money to pay for this? Or what if I'm a single mother and I work 7 days a week and I don't have time to take this class? What if I don't have the $250 to go and get my medical marijuana card? What if there's a bunch of what ifs? So when they sit down and said, okay, we're going to do this and focus on this, we then, at that point, I began to reach out to the minority community and say, we can trust this. Let's go back to the beginning when they first started this, and so that's pretty much the intricate role I had to play. Just he and I sitting down dialoguing about what's going on in our community and them finding a focal point to say, hey, we can help marginalized people. We can help people in general that have offended and they need a second chance.
And of course, I can also vouch for that. I remember when both Judge Fowler and Judge Bowling were elected, because I remember having them on Community Conversation. Actually, here's a little quick fun fact for you. Both of their interviews years later actually went viral, getting over 130,000 views. And this was like years after they had took the bench. Somebody somehow got a hold of those interviews and just started circulating them all over the place. But on a serious note, they did campaign on this, and they immediately got to work. I remember, Tommy, you invited me to come sit in your courtroom one day and just observe, and I did. And there were people who basically had all kinds of charges, all kinds of situations, and pretty much they was walking out with all of that dismissed. So, I mean, it is legit. You will not be tossed in jail. If you need a payment plan or anything, they will work with you on that. But, when they said that they want to give you, as he said, another bite at the apple, it is actually legit. So if you're out there, if you're listening and this is a situation that affects you, please take advantage. If you know of someone who is in this situation, then please let them know, because we definitely want to help people get on their feet.
Talking of funny stories, when Judge Bolin took the seat, I was in court with somebody one day, and this guy had a long list of things that he had done. And Judge Bolin said, "You know what? We're going to wipe this. We're going to do this." And the funny part was he looked at Judge Bolin and he said, "I'm going to call you Jesus." And man, he walked out of there and he was able to shift the narrative. He now, I think, works at what's the rail place out there, Trinity. He's doing good, but he just needed an opportunity because I personally had a bad experience with the previous person that sat on the bench, and I shared it with Judge Fowler. Man, I'm a college student, made a mistake, no seatbelt, turned into failure to appear, but he was doing failure to appear after failure to appear on the first offense, and so I end up going to jail. It put me in a bad position, and so I was able once Judge Bowling and Judge Fowler got on the bench, I was able to go before the judge, and he gave me fair consequences. It wasn't a continuous thing. One thing that I heard him say, he said, "What was the original charge?" And then when he said, "What was the original charge?" he said, "Okay, what's what?" But I was getting FTAs on the same charge, and I was never served after I got the first one, which is illegal from my understanding. I don't know if that's the right word or how it was worded, but it wasn't done right in so many words. So the system that we have now, it works. It's bettering our community. I do believe as long as you got a job, that's going to help cut down on crime. Now, I'm sure that people are still going to drink. People are still going to do whatever they do. But if I have a job, I'm working the majority of the time. So I'm not breaking in people's houses, or I'm not robbing people. So I definitely support them in this Amnesty program, and I'm really pushing it for our community to grab a hold to it, because they don't have to do this. Judge Fowler, how many other court systems in the state of Arkansas is participating in a program like this?
When we first started it, I don't know of any, because when we were so successful that first year at our district judges conference in the fall, I did a presentation on what we did and how successful we were. And so I had other judges contacting us. How did you do this? Can we see what your press releases look like? How did you know to get on radio, or how did you know to go on television? How did you get word out? And what was the message that you were sending? So the message is just only one aspect of it. The follow through is the other aspect. And Lagonzi, I know you and I have talked about this. That first couple of years, we were not as successful as I really wanted us to be, because we had to deal with improper information that was being put out. People putting out on social media, they're lying to you. You show up, you're going to go to jail. They're saying no one's going to jail if you take advantage of amnesty, or that they're going to have the second year, remember this specifically, they're going to have ICE trucks, vans parked out back. So anyone who is in the country with ICE issues, they're immediately going to walk you out the back door and put you in those vans, and your family members are going to be gone. We had to deal with that misinformation. And I understand it took a while, because somebody's word is just their word until they actually follow through with it. And Judge Bowling and I have always followed through with our word. And you talk about funny stories, Shamal. I remember the very first person, and I will never forget him, who came before me when we started Amnesty. He'd gotten a failure to appear on some minor traffic ticket, which suspended his driver's license. And he told me that for years, since 2012 to 2017, for 5 years, he had been driving with a suspended license. He took his grandson to school every day, and he picked him up every day. And every day he did that in fear that he was going to get pulled over, or he was going to be involved in an accident, and they were going to run his license and find this warrant, and he was going to be arrested in front of his grandson. So by taking advantage of our amnesty program, giving him an opportunity to address the court, even though he had an active warrant, we said, if you come and see us, take advantage of this, we'll do away with the warrant, which is exactly what we did. And when he was walking out the door, he stopped and he turned around. He said, Judge Fowler, I just want to say thank you. I said, you're welcome, but what for? He said, well, my wife didn't believe you when you said that I wouldn't go to jail. So she stayed at home in case I did have to go to jail today, she could get me out. He said, now I'm going to go call her. I said, okay, why are you going to go call her? He said, well, because she's got a warrant too, and I'm going to tell her to get her tail up here and get this taken care of.
Wow. Well, I guess let me chime in with my story. I observed a lady, and Judge, you probably remember this. She was active military.
Air Force out of Dallas, Texas. I sure do.
Had a whole bunch of, I believe, FTAs and whatnot. And because she was always serving, she kept getting more because she was never around. And basically, Judge, you told her, thank you for your service. You're free to go.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And
Absolutely.
all of that was, you wiped away everything that she had clean.
And I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Shamal.
That's the difference when you look at the district court system in the last 20 years. You can tell the difference. There are so many things circulating, but I have people that come to me and they say, I had a young lady reach out to me. She said, I had a miscarriage. And me having a miscarriage, I missed one court date, and then this happened, and I'm so scared to go to jail. I own a daycare center, and I don't know what to do. And I said, okay. I said, let me reach out and see what we need to do. We were able to get her on the docket. We were able to get things set up for her so she wouldn't have an FTA and live in fear that she would be transporting her kids, get pulled over, and then she would have an abandonment charge, or she would have some type of charge that would affect her livelihood. That's what it's about now. We have justices in place right now that are going to be better for our community, not better for somebody else's pockets. No shade thrown.
Right. Okay. So I know for everyone out there who is watching and listening, they're hearing all of these feel-good stories, but they think, okay, what do I need to do to sign up? So let's kind of bring it back to this. So, Judge, let them know the dates. Obviously, I don't even think we brought that up yet. The dates, the times, and what people are eligible for and how they can sign up.
So, thank you for bringing us back around. As far as the dates, we have 4 different dates. There are 3 in March and 1 in April, and we are staggering this. There's actually a couple of days on Thursdays and a couple of days on Fridays. So to try to help people who maybe Friday, which we normally do it because we don't have as big of a court docket on Friday. That's why we've always tried to set Amnesty for Friday. But Judge Bowling is going to do some on Thursdays to maybe help some folks out who Fridays are a difficulty for them. And so what they need to do, let's say I'm a participant and I'm behind and I need to get caught up. I've got to come to the court and look. You got to come to the front window, and they will send you back to where court services, which is where probation is. You get things squared up with them as far as what you were supposed to be doing. They will then give them a receipt, a written piece of paper that they will then come back to the front window, and then they can select a court date. Now, it is important. This is first come, first serve, and we only have limited space, so don't wait thinking, oh, I've got time to do this. It is best to get things going right now. The dates that we're going to use, I believe, are the 8th, the 15th, I believe the 28th, which is the 8th and 15th are Fridays. The 28th is a Thursday, and I believe Judge Bowling was also going to do maybe the 4th in April. I'm not quite sure on his days, but my 2 days are going to be the 8th and the 15th, and it will be at 9 o'clock. And actually, Lagonzi, a lot of people will be able to get signed back up without even having to come back and appear in court. But to make sure I've got everything on track, you're going to have to come up to the court and visit with the clerks at the front and the folks back in probation and court services. But many people will be able to do this without having to even come back in court another day.
That's good. That's good.
Okay, so there you have it. So again, take advantage of this opportunity. It is legit. It's been because you all took the bench in 2017, right?
Correct.
So since 2017, so 7 years now. Just take advantage of the opportunity.
Definitely.
Couple
Yes.
other things to that. We have started doing this over the last few years. We ask people, if you can, bring a couple of cans of food or a couple of cans of pet food that we turn around and kind of giving back even more. If you don't, that's fine. Nobody's going to say anything to you. No one's going to call you out. But if you can do that to now help somebody else, we turn around and we give that food to the food bank. We give that pet food to the Humane Society to help out others. So that's not a cost or a charge to take advantage. But if you are in a situation where you can, we ask that you do that.
That's just paying it forward.
Being a blessing to someone else.
Yeah, just paying it forward.
All right, gentlemen, is there any other final comments?
Oh, absolutely. I got two more things we need to talk about
Okay.
quickly, Legonzi.
Oh, well, take your time. I mean,
Okay. So I want to remind people of our sign-up docket. And Shamal was talking about the young lady earlier, and this is what she was able to take advantage of. Every day that I am on the bench, at 9 o'clock, I put out a blue clipboard that you can come in without fear and sign up to talk to me, even though you may not be on the docket that day. I don't care what it's about. You sign up. When court is completely over with and the courtroom is pretty much cleared out, we'll call you up, and one-on-one in court, we will talk about what the situation is and if there's anything that we can do to help, especially on non-payments of fine. And so if you've been on a payment plan and you've gotten behind, and I tell people this every day who come in my courtroom, I don't care if you've lost your job, I don't care if you've hurt your back, I don't care if you've been laid off or times have been cut, I don't care if you've been diagnosed with a pregnancy or you just had a child, you're going to be bedridden for a while, it's going to be a few months before you're back at work. I don't care if it's just been a hard couple of months. I get it. As long as you're staying in contact with me, I'm going to do everything I can to meet you halfway and help you out. So if something's going on, even the fine payment that you were supposed to be paying, I can't do that anymore. Can we discuss lowering that payment? Come in, sign up, talk to me, and we'll see what we can do. Judge Bowling is the same way. He does it at different times and on different dates, but mine are always Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 9 o'clock. We set it out for 30 minutes. And again, it's kind of a first come, first serve. We normally take 5 to 7 people a day. And since I have been doing that, on less than one hand can I count the number of days where someone hasn't taken advantage of that. So that's one thing I wanted to remind folks, that ignoring things doesn't make them going away. But if you come and visit with us, we'll do what we can to help you out, keep you in compliance, keep you on that railroad track so that you can get done with what you're supposed to do. The other thing is this. We started doing this a few years ago. It's getting to be tax time. A lot of people have some old fines, Legonzi. I mean, I've seen some going back to 2008, 2009. Somebody making $50 a month, $30 a month is never going to pay that off.
Right.
So what we've started doing is, okay, let's say you get a lump sum and you want to come in and we can play Let's Make a Deal. So I go dollar for dollar with people whose fines are 3 years and older, who are trying to help themselves out, get out of the situation. So if you were to come to me and say, Judge, I got $2,500. Judge Bowling and I will match that. We will give you credit for $5,000. You got $1,500. We'll give you credit for $3,000. All you got to do is come and sign up. We'll look and see what's eligible for that. Again, it's got to be 3 years or older. But this has allowed people who've had multiple FTAs from years ago to be able to get reinstatement letters for their driver's license, to get out of other situations that they have had. That is one of the things that we do. And normally during tax time is when people do have additional funds. And if they want to come and do it, all they have to do is come and sign that blue clipboard and visit with us.
Absolutely. Of course, bring it up to a little lighter note. I just realized something, Judge.
What's that?
You're not rocking your bow tie today. You usually come in here.
I'm not on the bench today. My phone's been blowing up with people needing me since we've been here, but I am not on the bench today, so I'm not rocking the bow tie.
It's all good. It's all good. So I definitely want to just say appreciate you for coming in today and appreciate, again, you, all the work that you and Judge Bowling do for the community. So, again, if you need help, just contact the court, and they will get you fixed up. All right, anything else?
I want to personally say I know this to be true and real. I know a lot of people in our community trust me, and I'm telling you that this is a man of his word. He's a man of integrity. He is not going to lead you wrong. Judge Bowling is not going to lead you wrong. This is something we need to take advantage of. Unfortunately, we have people who don't take advantage of these situations and they end up losing their job. Their kids end up in DCFS. There are so many other factors or so many other issues that happen because you don't take advantage of these situations. It comes around once a year. You heard the dates. Let's get up there and let's turn our lives around. This is the one time, this is the one chance you have to make a difference in your life, to be a hero to your kids or your grandkids. So that is my spiel on that. We thank you, Judge Fowler, for all that you do for our community.
Not a problem. Enjoy it.
And of course, the last word for today is we are inside of early voting.
Yes.
Go vote, people. I'm getting my vote on today, y'all.
Yes.
And Shamal has already voted. I don't know if Judge has voted yet. But,
Going today.
All right. But everybody, please go out and vote, people. Because KLK, we can't nor won't tell you who to vote for, but definitely encourage you to exercise your right to vote. You can Google AR Voter View and put in your name and address, and you can see the Democratic, the Republican, and the Independent ballot. So you can actually see the candidates on each of those slates that are running for various offices. You can research them, Google them. Most of them do have websites and or social media pages in which they have posted their positions on. Again, just
don't skip the nonpartisan race. I know it has the two things, but pay attention to the nonpartisan race this year.
That's right. The judge races. We got some state Supreme Court races. So make sure that you pay attention to all those, because just think about it. Let's just say that back in 2016, people decided to stay home and not vote. We may not even be having Judge Fowler and Judge Bowling here today. Elections do have consequences because people actually got out and voted. Both of these judges were able to win and to make these decisions to put on these programs, which have affected so many in the community. So the way that you vote can definitely have huge implications on the outcomes, both positive and negative. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Community Conversations. You guys have a great and blessed day. This is Kelly K on 2.5 FM.
Tommy, let's get a picture by the red wolf over there.
All right, then we got to record that PSA.
Okay. Let me do this. Restroom back here.